Here's your news for July 10th, 2020. Another WWE superstar decided to stay home. Why FTR has tremendous backstage heat revealed. What really happened with the WWE hacker storyline? WWE wrestler requests moving to Smackdown. Is WWE booking Randy Orton vs Tomasso Ciampa at SummerSlam 2020? Lana's both parents are tested positive. Is WWE going to rehire Heath Slater back? Who is going to induct the British BullDog in the Hall of Fame? And more. We're kicking off today with news from the ongoing global situation. There's been a handful of WWE superstars who have chosen not to compete, with Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens all opting not to do so. Now another name has been revealed, as according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Riddick Moss has opted not to compete at this time due to concerns about his health and the health of those closest to him. Meltzer made it clear that the former 24/7 champion hasn't tested positive, but has instead chosen to stay away from the Performance Center as a precautionary measure. Given that the company recently had over 24 positive cases, including Kayla Braxton, Renee Young, Jamie Noble, and Adam Pearce, it may be for the best that Moss stays away. And since he wasn't exactly being used by WWE before the current situation happened, he isn't missing out on much TV time. Over to AEW now, and following their WWE release, FTR did an interview with Jim Cornette, and whilst fans may have enjoyed it, the same can't be said from within the company. While speaking to Kenny McIntosh, FTR revealed that the AEW roster weren't too pleased with what Cornette had to say, though Dax Harwood admitted they don't really care what others think. He said, "If we make friends, and we've made a few. If they want to get mad at us because we're trying to make AEW a better place and make it more money, then we welcome that." In the past, Cornette has said plenty of unflattering things about AEW, with a lot being directed at former women's champion Nyla Rose, though if FTR want to speak to the controversial figure again, it seems nothing will stop them. Back to WWE now, and earlier this year, fans were captivated by the Smackdown hacker. But after many stars were hinted at being the hacker, it now seems the angle has been quietly dropped. One person who fans pegged to be the hacker was Mustafa Ali until he was moved to Raw, and it's now being revealed that this move was requested by Ali himself. According to an anonymous WWE writer, Ali requested the move as he was tired of being ignored by Bruce Pritchard and Ed Koskey on SmackDown, and thought he could do better under Paul Heyman. The irony of this is that now Pritchard is running both shows, and after it's been reported that Vince McMahon rejected every storyline for the hacker that Ali suggested, things aren't exactly looking good for the cruiserweight. It's also being reported that Ali has been quietly moved back to SmackDown after never appearing on Raw, and the superstar himself sent a cryptic tweet saying he now realizes the weight that comes with the name Mustafa Ali. This could mean nothing, or it could lead to him being the hacker, but given that Pritchard has focused more on established names and veterans instead of creating new stars, we'll have to see where his career goes from here. One place Ali could go is NXT, as the Gold brand has had an impressive 2 weeks with their Great American Bash soundly defeating AEW's Fyter Fest. On this week's show, Night 2 of the Bash drew in an average 759,000 fans, more than AEW's 715,000, while Night 1 saw NXT's Bash have 792,000 fans tune in, more than Fyter Fest's 748,000. This week is the third week NXT has defeated their competition, as before the Bash and Fyter Fest, AEW pulled in 633,000, far behind NXT's 786,000, and it'll be interesting to see how both shows do now that their big events are in the history books. One person who isn't too fazed by these numbers is Chris Jericho, who took to Twitter to point out that AEW had better ratings despite lower viewing figures. For Night 1 of Fyter Fest, AEW brought in a .29 in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic, compared to NXT's .22, leading to Jericho saying that AEW is still winning. Jericho even included a graphic from Showbuzz Daily, revealing that AEW scored a .28 for Night 2 of Fyter Fest in the 18 to 49 demographic, with NXT nowhere to be found. The pattern of AEW winning in the ratings has been a trend for a while now, though that doesn't mean more people are tuning in, but for now, the former AEW champion is pleased with the ratings, even if the viewing figures don't match. Back to WWE now, and we're looking ahead to SummerSlam, and with the reported Edge match out the window, Randy Orton is looking for a new challenger. Not long ago, it was reported that Orton was pitching to work with some NXT stars, including Adam Cole and Tomasso Ciampa, but it looks like that won't be the case, as Louis Dangoor reported, saying, "A few weeks ago, I reported that Randy Orton had been pitching to work with members of the NXT roster at SummerSlam, most notably Adam Cole and Tomasso Ciampa. However, I've been told that due to the shortage of #WWE Raw heels, Randy Orton will likely be facing Drew McIntyre." This rumor was corroborated by Alex McCarthy of TalkSport, who added that Orton immediately petitioned for a SummerSlam match with Cole or Ciampa after learning of Edge's injury, but it now looks like the Legend Killer will have a shot at the WWE Championship at the biggest party of the summer instead. One person who won't be at SummerSlam is Enzo Amore, but after being fired by WWE in 2018, he never sent back the Cruiserweight Championship he held at the time. In a recent video, the self-professed Certified G revealed he still has the title, and promised to take it with him on the Indies, with his first match taking place this Friday when he teams with Brian Pillman Jr. to face Ricky Morton and his son. Amore has said that he doesn't even need his tag partner, claiming that Pillman can hold his cigarette, and it'll be interesting to see whether the former WWE superstar fulfills his promise to make wrestling real again in 2020. Back to WWE now, as the company reportedly has a new goal for reopening live events with actual fans. Previously, the company had brought some friends and family into the Performance Center until a positive test with an NXT developmental star ended that plan, and according to WrestleVotes, WWE is now aiming for the end of September as a restart for events with live audiences. Their tweet also stated that the idea of WWE hosting SummerSlam in front of fans is now off the table, as the company had hoped to host the biggest party of the summer at the TD Garden in Boston, but will now host the show at the Performance Center. Of course, anything could happen between now and September, as this isn't the first time the company has set a date for when they want real fans to be back in the crowd, and time will tell whether the company gets actual fans in their seats in September, or if this date is just wishful thinking. We've got an update from Lana next, as we previously reported that her mother was in the ICU, and now more details have emerged. After posting that her mother had tested positive, she's now revealed that her father has tested positive too, and given that her parents never go outside, she said that what's happening is mind-blowing. Lana is very close to her family, as she and Rusev recently bought her dad a car for Christmas, and we'd like to send our best to her entire family at this worrying time. Over to Raw now, and one person who shocked fans by appearing this week is Heath Slater, who returned for a match against his fellow 3MB bandmate Drew McIntyre. Following Slater's appearance, many fans speculated on whether the company will re-sign the one-man band, but that won't be the case. As Tom Colohue of Dropkick Discussions reported, "It's a one-time deal. It gives Heath Slater himself a payday while he's unable to wrestle elsewhere because of his non-compete clause." While it may have been a one-time deal on this occasion, Colohue added that that could change, saying, "He wasn't offered a new contract to my knowledge, but I know a lot of people backstage who are very impressed, as well as the wrestlers as well. With a performance like this, it's not impossible that a new contract will be offered." Colohue added that he's confident Slater already had a deal offered by another company, and given that his former tag partner Rhino has teased Slater reuniting with him in Impact Wrestling, Slater may not be returning to WWE even if a contract is offered. Speaking of Impact, the company has been teasing plenty of surprises for their upcoming Slammiversary pay-per-view, and some former WWE superstars have been teasing the move themselves. On Instagram this week, Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, shared an image of himself in his ring gear with the caption July 18th, 2020, which will be the date that Slammiversary takes place. The former Broski isn't the only former superstar to tease a move to Impact recently, as Carl Anderson posted a photo this week of his tag partner Luke Gallows wearing an Impact shirt. Of course, there's always the possibility that the former superstars are just messing with fans, but we should know more on who is and isn't joining Impact on July 18th. Over to WWE now, and whilst we don't know when the Hall of Fame will happen this year, we know that the British Bulldog will finally be inducted. Given his lengthy career in wrestling before his sad passing in 2002, there's no shortage of people who could induct Davey Boy Smith, and now his daughter Georgia Smith has weighed in on who should do the honors. She said, "I kind of want Harry to accept it. I think that was the plan. I may speak. I thought William Regal would have been a good one as well because those two had history in WCW and knew each other and respected each other." Georgia also said that Wade Barrett would make a fine choice, given that he was a fan of the Bulldog and that both he and Davey Boy are from a similar part in England. As of right now, Georgia is focusing her time on the website she runs celebrating her father's legacy. As whoever does the honors, we're just pleased that the Bulldog is finally getting inducted after years of fan petitions. We've got an update on Kayla Braxton next, as the WWE interviewer has revealed that she is fully recovered following her second positive case. While this week saw good news for Braxton, it's also seen tragedy, as it's being reported that Conan's mother has passed away due to the current situation, as have Evelyn Edwards, the mother of Linda McMahon, and grandma to Stephanie and Shane. 2020 has truly been a terrible time for everyone, and we'd like to send our deepest condolences to Conan, the McMahon family, and everyone who's been affected this year. Over to Smackdown now, as Lacey Evans has done little on TV as of late, but has kept herself busy out of the ring. It turns out that the sassy Southern Belle has been using her free time to start her own candle-making company, and her new line of aromatherapy candles sold out very quickly. With candles labeled with positive terms like mind over matter and get stuff done, the SmackDown superstar posted about her new venture on Instagram, where she also shared pictures of her family helping to make her products. There was a time when it looked like Evans was destined to be the top star of SmackDown's women's division, and though it now seems like she's been lost in the shuffle, at least she's finding a way to keep busy with her new, successful business. And we're ending today with news from SummerSlam, which won't be happening in Boston anymore, but that hasn't scuppered what The Miz has planned for the pay-per-view. While speaking to Sports Illustrated, the A-lister said he plans for himself and John Morrison to face Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak at the show, and that isn't all he has planned. Speaking about his tag team partner, The Miz said he has big plans for Johnny Drip Drip, saying, "John will be WWE champion, and it's my goal to get him there. He would be an outstanding WWE champion. Some of the stuff he can do is incredible. He's so entertaining. He's a friend that has my back, and I have his too." Before his release in 2011, Morrison had multiple opportunities at the title, including facing The Miz for the gold, but never got the big push fans were expecting. Time will tell whether Morrison ever does end up winning the big one now that he's back with WWE, but if The Miz gets his way, the Shaman of Sexy may be the next person to become a Triple Crown winner.